Engaging partners and consumers in co-creation opens up a world of possibilities for companies, allowing them to tap into a seemingly endless well of innovative ideas and keep their finger on the pulse of what the market really needs. But are two heads better than one, or can too many cooks spoil the broth? On this episode, we're speaking to two disruptive beauty players, MyGlam and NotSpark, on how collaborative product developments have helped their respective brands reach new heights. But first, let's hear about the two very different approaches the two brands take to co-creating new products. MyGlam is a D2C beauty brand from India that has made it its business to keep in constant contact with its consumer base, actively listening to their needs and concerns to inform its product development strategy.
We are uniquely placed because in our group we have a large beauty brand that is MyGlam that can create amazing products for our users. In addition to that, we also have a content platform called PopXO, where we have 80 million users who come to our platform every year, consuming all the content that we create. We also have an influencer platform called Plexo, where we have 150,000 influencers who we interact with on a very regular basis. So because of all of this, we have access to a lot of information and inputs from our users. And at MyGlam, we are very, very good at listening to that information, asking the right questions, creating unique and interesting formats by which we interact with our users. And based on all of this information and data, we are actually able to predict the products that our users really want, and in partnership with our users, create those products for them. So it becomes this very beautiful ecosystem of really listening to the users, trying to understand what they want, making those products, and then using our content platform, PopXO, our influencer platform, Plexo, re-engage with the users to sell those products back to them.
Taking a different, no less effective approach to co-creation is NotSpark, a Singapore-based firm specializing in nail wraps that has collaborated with a diverse range of brands, from international names in beauty to underground fashion labels, to stay relevant and dynamic.
Some of the international brands that we collaborated with include like Kat Von D Vegan Beauty. We have also done with Bulgari, Bioderma, and more recently we did with Disney as well. So we partnered up with, we teamed up with Disney Southeast Asia, and we had their prints on our nail wraps. We did Princess, Frozen, and as well as Disney Vintage and Classics as well. So in terms of like the process, I think we always start with discussing what the idea behind the campaign is, the marketing angle, what's the focus, why do we even want to team up together, and thereafter we actually have a mood board that we will list down, like, what kind of colors you want, what kind of patterns, and then the direction of the artwork itself, and then we would get it produced, and then thereafter we would go into like the actual marketing campaign once we have the products in our office.
In fact, the firm strongly believes that its collaborative efforts have been crucial to the brand's growth in a very niche market over the years.
I think the core of collaborations is very important in helping to open up like a new customer base, customers that you're not exposed to, that you never come across. So like, for example, when we collaborated with Obey, it's like, we're getting like the street kind of crowd, very different kind of like, not our usual like OL, like office ladies kind of a customer base. So that's really good. And the collaboration also in terms of like, we get to explore new styles as well. We get to explore new kind of artwork that we would never usually produce in-house because it's just not our style. So that adds more dynamics to our product offering, and as well as our brand, makes our brand more dynamic, basically. And also, I think when it comes to getting exclusive work, like because when we work with Disney, Obey, Kat Von D, we're using their artwork. So it's basically very exclusive because we didn't come up with it ourselves. It's their artwork. So yeah, that helps drive up the hype and the exclusivity. Things like that. I would say that I take a lot of pride in our collaborations, and it has helped us a lot in the growth, in making NotSpark very dynamic and having such a wide variety of styles as well. And I guess like what I mentioned, all the few same points, which is giving us the new customer base, product dynamics, brand. It makes our brand very exciting when we have, and quite recognized also across the board, because we do a lot with like international brands as well. So yeah, it's like a very wholesome a very wholesome strategy for us that we adopted over time that we felt it just worked for us. Yeah.
Both MyGlam and NotSpark shared that they have had wonderful success with product innovations born out of the collaborative process.
As MyGlam, we wanted to come up with a foundation, right? Of course, the usual things that people want in a foundation, but you want a good formulation, you want a good texture, you want a choice of skin tones. But before we actually decided to just go with that, we thought, hey, let's talk to the users and see what they want. And because of the focus groups and the different activities that we did, we got this unique insight that women not only want foundation that gives great coverage, that makes them good look in selfies, but they actually want a foundation that's good for their skin. So then we came up with TLC, which is this idea of the skin caring foundation. And so it's foundation packed with skincare benefits. So you're getting a 2-in-1 multi-use product that gives you great finish, great coverage, but it's actually very, very good for your skin as well. And that was actually one of our first kind of products we created in partnership with our users, and that's done enormously well. The second product that we can talk to you about is our Superfoods Kajal, right? This idea of beauty in and out. Beauty should be kind of taking inspiration from the foods that we consume to look, to feel good and to be healthy. Those are the products that should go into the ingredients for your beauty products as well. So this kind of has avocado, and it's this beautiful kind of kajal that works really, really well. But again, this idea of it should be good for my eyes, right? It's good for you. That insight again came from our users, because she's like, I use my kajal every day. It's going into my eyes. Can it actually be really good for my eyes as well? So instead of just putting pigment in the kajal and making sure it's long lasting, which is kind of table stakes these days for a product like that, we went a step ahead. We put ingredients in there that actually make it better for your eyes. So again, this idea of eye caring came about from insight from our users. And we would not have known that if we hadn't been so intent on constantly listening to what she's trying to tell us and actually proactively going there to ask her the questions as well. And it's been doing enormously well.
We did one with Obey. Obey is it's quite like a hype brand, streetwear from the States. And when we did the collaboration with them, it was such a big deal because there was a lot of like OG street people who follow us as well. And they were like, oh my gosh, like never expected NotSpark to do a collaboration with Obey. And it just took off by itself. And the thing is that Obey is very big in the States, right? So and to collaborate with a new rap brand, which has never happened before. So in itself, the customers in the States also got very interested, and that totally like drived up the engagement crossover from the States to Singapore as well. It was actually a collaboration with like Obey Singapore, Southeast Asia, for their marketing campaign. So I think it helped capture like new customers from overseas as well. And that's why we are quite interested with doing collaborations with like, it can be like underground brands, it can be like even brands from overseas. There's another one that we did with an Indonesian brand called Smitten by Pattern. So they were, they are also very popular in their own country. So that's giving us a lot of new customer base when we collaborate with like such brands.
With so many good reasons to collaborate, the firms expect to see co-creator innovations becoming more commonplace in the beauty space.
I mean, we like raising the table stakes for everyone else in the room. And with this process, I do really believe that we are doing so. This is something that our users are appreciating. Our investors and all the investors who want to get into our company are really appreciating as well. And the numbers talk, right? And we are literally seeing the numerical response to our approach. And it makes financial sense. It's great for our buyers, our users. I don't see why this will be something that others will not want to follow. But of course, having said that, as MyGlam, we have this enormous moat called PopXO and Plixo, this huge community of users that are part of our group. And we can connect with them instantly anytime we want. So that doesn't come easy. And because of that, I really do feel that we have that edge that is needed. But yeah, it's only going to be great for the users if all other companies kind of take this very empathetic approach to creating products for them. And ultimately, it's the user who's going to be the winner. Of course, we'd like to be winners along the way as well. So honestly, going forward, every single product that we do will have this idea of a partnership, listening to our user built into it, right? Why would you create a product when you have access to all these tools and possibilities? Why would you just do that on your own? It makes no sense. So pretty much everything that we do is with that lens in mind. It's kind of the essence, the core of what we do as a company. And I'd say 100%.
It's great for like pushing the boundaries, testing new ideas. No, I would say no on account that it's a very, very, very tedious process. It's very time consuming, and sometimes there are a lot of red tapes. And for certain ones also you might have to pay like, licensing fees, things like that. So if you have the budget, if you have a big team, then if you go down that route, I think it's great for your brand. But if not, I would say like you need to have like a balance between the two, having your own creation and also like having collaborations, which is what we do at NorthSpark as well.